Buckeye Nation. It is the Wildman, Chris Wild. I'm here with Eric Buckeye Boggs, and we are here to bring you I don't even know what to call this episode, Eric. I really don't. Is it The Delusion Continues? I have no idea. But before we get started, let me just remind everybody to please like, subscribe, as we are only a mere 16 subscribers away from that magic 4,500. Like, subscribe, make sure you ring that bell so you get it when we drop any new content. So, Buckeye Nation, the scum of the earth, they're at it again. I swear, these delusional, khaki-worshipping, moronic Michigan fans just can't help but embarrass themselves. And this time, they're trying to drag us into their mess, Eric. They're trying to drag us into their mess. They're trying to drag an Ohio State player into their cheating scandal, saying he's ineligible and that we have to vacate our national championship from last season. Vacate? Are you serious? Boggs, are you kidding me here? What are they thinking, man?
I'm so tired of this story.
Yes.
I am so over it. You guys got away with cheating, and yet you are trying to fight the NCAA on what was the weakest, limp, asinine punishment ever handed out by the NCAA, and yet you're still going to fight that. And you dorks are you take it hook, line, and sinker. The pompous arrogance from this fan base, they are so easy to hate. They truly are the villains of college football.
Yeah.
They are the bubble gum on the bottom of your shoe. They are the scum on the bottom of the boat. They are the dog poop you're trying to get off the bottom of your shoe when you step in it. That's who Michigan fans are. I honestly feel sorry for Burks and Jerry, who are two honest to good human beings who get labeled because they're a part of this absolute idiotic fan base. The delusion is hysterical. It's hysterical.
It really is. And let's dive in a little bit to what they are up to now. So let's lay out what's been reported.
Sure.
So CBS News Detroit said they were provided information from a private investigator, maybe it was Ryan Day's brother, I don't know, that the student athlete listed in the 79-page report as student athlete 1 recorded a phone call with Connor Stalions without his consent. Now, first of all, notice anything missing there, Eric? There was no name, no dates, no school, nothing. But somehow scum fans have decided it's Joey Velasquez.
And let's say for this exercise, so what if it was?
And we're going to get there. But out of at least 45 players who have transferred during Michigan's 3-year cheating scandal, they just know it was the Buckeye. Could have been no other former player. So why do you think they immediately jumped us, Eric? Not that I have to ask.
Yeah, why are you even asking such a question? It's because we're the ones who wouldn't let it go. We're the ones who, we're the fans who talked about it. We're the podcasts who kept talking about it, right? What will be the possible punishment? Will it be the hammer? Are they going to get away with it? How deep does this go? It's funny to me that these same fans, Chris, who are complaining about this player who recorded a conversation with Connor Stalions without his consent, have nothing to say.
Oh, I'm getting there too.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, because they're desperate. And here's the kicker. Student athlete one who supposedly lied about Chris Partridge. We'll touch on that in a minute. Who recorded Connor without his consent. He is also apparently guilty, Eric, because you're going to love this one. He took videos from a Michigan staffer's computer without authorization.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know where you were dying to go a minute ago.
Yeah.
I'm going to let you take at it right here. Go ahead.
So you all are upset about that to the point where he broke a law, and let's say it was Vasquez, and therefore that makes him ineligible, and therefore your national championship is going to be vacated, right? But you imbeciles have no problem with your own coach during his time at the University of Michigan illegally accessing computers of how many thousands of college athletes?
Hundreds of thousands. Or that's how many photos he had. Hundreds of thousands.
It spared me the self-righteousness of, oh, yes, we did, and we fired him, and we let him go. No, you didn't.
After he coached you to a championship, you did.
No, you didn't. So spare me the self-righteousness hypocrisy here, okay? It is absolutely hilarious to watch the mental gymnastics you guys are going through to try to become the victims in this thing. By the way, if it was Vasquez, let's say it was him, right? Mm-hmm. He was like at best third string. And yet he knew the level of cheating you guys were doing enough to take pictures, record a conversation?
Well,
did you stop and think about that for a second? Even he knew this is wrong? So you guys are actually, by you guys doing this, you're showing how guilty you actually were.
You're basically indicting the entire player base at this point, because you're saying a third stringer was involved with this, so you know the first and the second string guys had to be.
Hey, how many knew about it, Michigan? All of them.
Absolutely. So now, Eric, we got the lawyers chiming in because you knew they were going to.
Sure.
So this is a lawyer from the Detroit area, and this is what he says. Well, if this were state court, illegally obtained evidence would be inadmissible. Yeah, if this was a courtroom. But it isn't a courtroom, guys. It's the NCAA. They don't care if evidence comes from a PI, a pizza box, a flash drive, a Happy Meal box. If it lands on their desk, they're going to use it. So let's break down the top three allegations, top to bottom. First allegation, recording a phone call with Connor Stallions. Guess what, Eric? I researched this. There is no NCAA policy regarding the recording of phone calls.
I do have one question about that. After that phone call was recorded, was the phone smashed and thrown into a lake?
Probably.
Okay.
So there is no NCAA violation here. And they're yelling, well, it's illegal. It is not illegal. In the state of Michigan, one-party consent, totally legal. That means you broke no NCAA rule. You broke no law. So, Eric, fair or foul? Do you have a problem with this?
You know, I'm going to make another analogy, Chris.
Yeah.
You know how we're so soft because a representative from the state of Ohio who happens to be from the city of Toledo, who still hasn't answered my phone calls or emails about whether he's an Ohio State fan or not, by the way.
So lack of sack, Eric, lack of sack.
Apparently we're so soft, yet here you guys are running to lawyers trying to go to the court system. Who's soft exactly?
Exactly.
Just asking.
Exactly. Now next, lying to the NCAA. This one is the peach, Eric. This one's the peach. Lying to the NCAA. So nowhere in their report does it even say student athlete one lied. What it does say is this: Partridge was advising players on what to tell investigators. Quote, he advised some players of what to say. One or more told investigators what Partridge instructed them to do. So Partridge wasn't necessarily telling them not to say something, but he was coaching them on what to say. The bigger issue was the fact that he was accused of helping cover the tracks that he destroyed evidence. The problem is the NCAA said, no, you know what, let's back up. We're not sure that happened. So Michigan pundits are saying, hey, they should sue this kid. Partridge should sue this kid for getting him fired. First of all, that sounds more to me like a unjustified termination lawsuit than it does something against this kid, especially when there's no proof of him lying. And even if he did lie, good God, did August 15th show us nothing? It doesn't matter if you lie to the NCAA. They're not court officers. They're nobody. They don't even have the sack to enforce their own rules.
Exactly.
So give me your thoughts.
Yeah. Again, the same fans now who all of a sudden are coming to Partridge's defense, right? Didn't they all hate that guy 2 years ago?
Oh, yeah.
Wasn't he enemy number one 2 years ago?
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden you flip-flop. You guys are like a fish out of the water, man. You're just flopping all over the place on this thing. You guys can't take a side if you guys couldn't take a side if your life depended on it. It's unbelievable the flip-flop you've done with that poor guy.
Yeah. So let's touch on that third allegation, the unauthorized videos, which we mentioned earlier. Once again, not a courtroom. NCAA has no requirement for chain of custody. They don't care how they got it, whether it was emailed, mailed. They didn't care if you hired a skywriter to put it in the air over Ann Arbor. If it's in their hands, it counts. And I actually went and looked up the statute for this as well, because Michigan fans are going to say it's illegal. Guess what? The way this evidence was obtained was not illegal in a criminal sense. And I'm going to read you the exact quote. It's likely not illegal in a criminal sense to turn evidence over to the NCAA, as the NCAA is a private organization, not a government entity, and the agent was not acting as an agent of the said government. However, the act of obtaining the evidence from the coach's computer without consent could have consequences under various state and federal laws regarding unauthorized access, such as the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act. You guys in Michigan should be very familiar with that. And may violate some university policies. So, Eric, there is nothing here at all that would at all be illegal. Could he get a misdemeanor for accessing the records? I suppose it's possible, but I even feel like with that, Michigan fans are reaching. What are your thoughts?
These yahoos, Chris, are so desperate to try to clear their name in that national championship run that they are willing to jump through any hoop, whether it's on fire or not, to try to come up with the craziest conspiracy theory that Ohio State somehow manipulated this kid to do this dirty deed and then come to Ohio State with all this information, and that they turned around and gave it to Ryan Day's brother, who happened to work for the FBI, and that's how all of this happened. Two things. Number one, let's say this player did do this, and he did come to Ohio State, and he did have this information. Is not Ohio State obligated to turn that information over to the NCAA?
Absolutely.
If you knew, let's turn the tides. Let's say a player leaves here. Let's say or a coach, it's Tony Alford. Tony Alford goes up to Michigan, becomes the running backs coach there, and says, guys, they are illegally paying recruits cheeseburgers. Wouldn't you guys want him to turn that in? Wouldn't you want them to turn Ohio State in if they were doing something illegal? I know you would. So even if that did take place, Ohio State is under an obligation. If you know, Chris, as a teacher, you see a student who looks like he or she is being abused, you have an obligation, according to the state of Ohio, according to the oath that you took as an educator, to turn that into the proper authorities.
Or I go to jail.
Or you are responsible. Exactly. So spare me this conspiracy theory that Ohio State somehow planted him there to do this. That is absolutely crazy.
Stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Number 2, who cares? You guys literally cheated and got a slap on the wrist. Who cares? The NCAA is dead, dude. Is dead. So you can run to your little Michigan courts with all your Michigan grad judges, and you can get some kind of ruling that says, they didn't cheat. It's okay. All you're doing is just running around in circles, patting yourselves on the butts, patting yourselves on the back. You're just doing this. Oh, we're so good. And the rest of the country looks at you and goes, oh
We
my
know what happened.
gosh,
We know what happened. This
they're
isn't going to change
idiots.
anything.
They're idiots.
Exactly.
So have fun. Run around. You guys can fight Intrinsic and Spiro and Scoop with this. Like, you guys can keep running around with this. We have a season to talk about, Chris. We have the number 1 team in the country who's trying to win a second national championship in a row to talk about. I'm not worried about what little story your fan base is trying to conjure up this week. We'll worry about you guys at the end of November when we come to the big house. Maybe you guys should be more concerned about Oklahoma this week.
That's right, Eric. 100% right. So here it is, Buckeye Nation. Let's lay it out for you like this. Michigan fans are trying to drag Ohio State into their filth because they can't handle reality. And the reality is this: Ohio State is the reigning, defending, undisputed 2025 national champion. Michigan is on probation. Connor Stein, he's the Watergate wannabe of college football. So when you start talking about your conspiracies and when you're embarrassing yourselves online, it doesn't change anything. The fact is this: Eric said it. The NCAA is dead. The trophy is residing in Columbus, Ohio. And we are worried about the here and the now, not the little mess that you're trying to bring at us. So keep crying, keep whining. But at the end of the day, you're cheaters. You got caught. The NCAA, they acknowledged it. They said, we don't care. So don't expect them to really give a squirt of urine. I'll keep it clean. A squirt of urine about your little so-called allegations, because there's absolutely zero to it. There is no NCAA violation. There is no illegalities here. And my God, Eric, can you imagine what would happen if the NCAA did try to sanction Ohio State? Could you imagine the multi-billion-dollar lawsuit that not only Ohio State, but the rest of the NCAA might lay on these guys after what they let Michigan get away with? I mean, it would be mind-blowing. I don't get it. I don't know where they're going.
They're not going anywhere fast, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, I agree.
They're not going anywhere fast. This is the craziest, from start to finish, this is the craziest story in our lifetime. When we read about the history of the rivalry, there's going to be a huge chapter dedicated to the Jim Harbaugh train wreck. Let's call it like it is.
Absolutely.
And this recent allegation might be a little cliff note in it, if that. If that. It is hilarious to me. You all are just absolute clowns. You're all clowns.
Pathetic clowns. That being said, again, guys, remember, like, subscribe, ring that bell. Hey, if you love what we do, $3.99 a month, you can become an official member. Get yourself a free t-shirt, free shipping from our online store, and great behind the wall content. Until next time, good night, God bless, and go Bucks.